Good morning, everyone. Is it really a good morning? You know, you make it the morning that it will be by feeling the joy and knowing the miracle of being alive. We could solve all of our problems immediately, worldwide, if everyone would just recognize the miracle of being alive. You are alive right now. And so that would bring you to a place of consideration beyond this limited idea we have of trying to get something more than we already have. We already have life, and it is everything. Is there anybody here from another unity? Anybody here for the first time? Look at that, we don't have to give out any gifts this morning. You are very fortunate to be here this morning because this particular talk is going to move your own awareness to a very beautiful place. Look forward to the talk that is coming your way.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. My name is Mike Shadle. I'm the church administrator here. I take care of a lot of things around the building. I also take care of rentals. We do rent out all the space here in this building. So if you're ever looking to rent space for a party, a business meeting, anything, just give us a call, ask for me, and say, hey, where's Mike? And I'll set you up with some space and time and get you going from there. We're very happy you're all joining us today in person and online. I want to start today by inviting everyone here to get more involved in your spiritual center here at Unity of Boulder. We have some new, really fun opportunities where you can have an impact in helping our spiritual center thrive. And you're going to see that we're going to have some pass-around sheets today with what we're calling service club opportunities. And these we just started this out this week. Check out your handout. There's also flyers and stuff and posters in the lobby that explain these a little bit more. There's clubs that are helping out in every different part in this building. One of them you're going to see today is our special music today is our entertainment club, which involves if you would like to sing on our stage, all you have to do on the Sunday that we're doing it is show up an hour early and learn the song that day. No time commitment. It's not months long. It's just that day, and you get to just have fun singing on stage. That's just one example of the clubs. Jack just said it helps if you can sing. Don't listen to him. You are not invited into this club. But check out your handouts to learn about these clubs, and sign up on one of these pass-around sheets. All right, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity. This is the time in our service where it's a call to prayer. And in the pews in front of you, you'll find a sheet of paper that you can write a name of someone that might need a prayer right now. And it's always okay to pray for yourself, because it's not really about changing God and changing the circumstance. It's more aligning with the power that lives within you and aligning as God, as healer, that we can send out this vibrational energy to bring healing to others when we put their name down. So we don't have to say what it is, because the universe knows what you need before you ask. And Donna right here is going to come down and she'll collect the prayers down this aisle after you put the names down. But we like to sing this song. They say to sing is to pray twice, so we invite you to join us. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me, and I'm grateful for you. So it is.
I am one in the Spirit, I am one with the source. I am loved by the Spirit, I am loved by the source. I am loved by the Spirit, I am loved by the source. I hear my guidance from the living source. I hear my guidance from the living source. I am healed from my past. I release, I let go. I am healed from my past. I release, I let go. Feel free to sing along. The invitation's always there. I walk with my spirit, I walk with my source. I walk with my spirit, I walk with my source. All is well in my life when I put my source first. All is well in my life when I put my source first. All is well in my life when I put my source first. All is well in my life when I put my source first.
All right, I want you all to stand, and I want you to sing this with us. And you'll think about what you sound like. Just say the words. Get into it. Be weird. It's okay. We're going to be weird up here, so be free.
Crystal waters,
Yes, I know I get a little wild, but you don't have to be me, but you can get a little wilder. It's okay.
Yes, that's too far. Will you put these on the floor? Okay. Beautiful way to start. Thank you for singing this morning. So this is our new entertainment music club that we're starting, where you don't have to join the choir. You can just show up at 10 o'clock, learn the song, and then perform on Sundays. And so we're going to be doing that a lot more often. So keep an eye out on the email when it goes out. So there's a pass-around sheet to say that you'd be interested in it. And the entertainment club is also soloists and things of that nature as well. So we're trying to make it a little bit easier so you don't have to be so committed to an entire season to sing. You might just want to sing one week. So we're starting all sorts of fun new things to get integrated into this beautiful community. And, they say to be able to take care of these places, we have to tithe our time, our talent, and our treasures, right? There's three ways of giving, and sometimes you don't have the financial goods to give, right? But your time is just as treasured when you have gifts to share, like gardening or baking in the kitchen or greeting people in our hospitality team, or there's so many wonderful ways to get involved, and it's easy for you, and you don't realize that you'll be blessed tenfold back when you give of your energy. It's that giving and the receiving. We can't just listen to this message and not apply it into our lives, that we are the co-creators with God, and so therefore we have to exemplify that love in our givingness as well, right? So today, my talk title is The Silent Language That Holds the Power to Transform and Heal. There's a language that's soft and repetitive that can change your vibration and transform unwanted patterns. There's a vision within you that knows what's needed, but isn't accessible because you lack respect of your own wishes. There's a moment when clarity comes. The master within you reveals the answers. But the noise in your head is so loud, jumping from one thing to another, fixated on the problems instead of finding solutions. There is a glimmer for you when the goal of love and connection to the one energy that is called by many names lands in your heart and is visited and embodied multiple times a day so that you can overcome and embrace your wishes today. I wrote this on Thursday because I was thinking about affirmations. And it was because we had this wonderful, jovial gentleman walk in the bookstore on Wednesday, touting this new book that he wrote. He lives in Sedona, and it's all on affirmations, and I haven't even had a glimmer on it. It didn't really matter what was in the book. It was what was in this soul, this man, and the love that he emitted, and how much affirmations had changed his life. And it took him out of a major crisis where he was being sued for $4 million, and it was just like this long, long story. But he's telling all this like horror that he went through with just all this light. It was like a Santa Claus, just like everything was so wonderful, and he's speaking to a lot of difficult things, and it was the fact that he really affirmed that there was going to be a perfect outcome in his life with all these things that he was facing, and in the end, what he had affirmed actually came out even better than what he was affirming in the words that he was transcribing through his mind, right? So I recently learned about a term called a glimmer, which is essentially the opposite of a trigger. Glimmers are those micro moments in your day that make you feel joy, happiness, peace, and gratitude. Once you train your brain to be on the lookout for the glimmers, the more these tiny moments happen, the more you will begin to look out for them, the more you will notice them, right? So I like this idea of the glimmers. Like, can you even think of today, something that stands out, that glimmered, that had an ethereal something, maybe just in a conversation of something that somebody said and it matched something you've been pondering or connecting with, or just a sign that said something that gave you a message that this is something you need to step into, right? Looking for the signs and symbols of Spirit speaking directly to us and through us, through other people, through experiences, through thoughts that come to us or dreams, right? The magical, looking for the glimmer, right? The Beatitudes. Beatitudes begin with the word blessed. It is an important word. To bless is to confer prosperity upon, to enrich. Thus, blessed makes a wonderful promise telling you what will happen to you if you condition your mind to the full acceptance of these attitudes. In each case, through the 8 Beatitudes, the blessed is a one-word definition of all the good that will come to you if you understand and live by these amazing attitudes of being blessed. Right? So we think of affirmations that like it's a long rote thing that we're going to go through, and sometimes we do because there's something very specific that we're facing, and I'm going to share an example of that in my life when I had a very long affirmation that I needed to use to correct fearful thinking so that I did not manifest another opportunity, another situation that I had just faced. So when I'm referring to this line, the silent language, we're talking about affirming our good. And affirming isn't just in thoughts, but it's words and actions. Right? It's affirming with what we share. And so we learn to share with others that which is wonderful and exciting and healed and done, right? We've already seen the prayer answered, and then we end it with gratitude statements. But a lot of times, when we're facing discord or lack in our life, we tend to want to ruminate with others about it. We want to share with others this issue that's standing in your way and it's taking all of your good away. And so we want to get, feedback from others. So we add on to the negativity by having a long banter around something. And we think we're getting solutions that way. But what we're doing is we're adding unto the hardship. When we're speaking more power into it. When we're thinking more power into it. How many times do we lay down at night and we go over the list of all the things that didn't go well, and then we're planning on how we're going to fix it the next day? When the greatest thing you can do is lay there and clear the mind. Don't go back through the day. And if you go back through the day, you start to find the affirmation, the affirmament. It's in the firmament that something manifests, right? We come up with a claiming statement of healing for that relationship with somebody or that difficult something that you're facing, and you go to sleep in this place of resolve. And then find how you wake up with a whole new picture of life, a whole new sense of excitement to step in and practice this new way of feeling in this resolved space and watch how the situation resolves itself. The fourth principle of 5 in unity, it goes like this. We are co-creators with God, creating our reality by thoughts held in mind. So thoughts held in mind, the reason why affirmations are so helpful is because we get this statement that we can now use to help us train our minds to have the default on affirming the good. Because unfortunately, when we're not doing a good meditation practice and working on ourselves, we tend to go to the negative default. So you have to train, just like anything else. It's a type of exercise. It's a mind exercise where you're affirming, like, I am loved, I am worthy, I am courageous, I am healed, I am holy. All of the things that can come after I am, it's already the greatest word of God. I am. And then the fulfillment of what it is that is needed in whatever situation that you're facing to be able to come up over, to finally heal. So there's simple things like we can say, I bless you, God bless you. And one of the most powerful ways to use this affirmation is with the difficult people in your life or difficult circumstances in your life. This one act of stepping out of the ego and justifying why this situation or relationship can't work may, with the application of this magical statement, it's not just trickery, it works. Because it said that to bless someone or something, you are claiming the situation wholly. You are claiming the situation wholly. You are literally inviting the universe to do its work for healing through you and other individuals involved. So that's one of the first things we do in the Prosperity Secrets of the Ages class. The first day we go through the first chapters, and the first chapters are on blessing the hard circumstances out of our life instead of cursing them out of our life, where we're just frustrated that we can't change other people and we can't change the outer circumstances, and you don't realize when you make something holy, it gets out of the ego. So blessing someone that is moving and speaking adversely towards you, or like a boss or a spouse or a person in your life that you can't seem to fix the challenge of the communication between you, or the energy that just doesn't seem to meld well. To really authentically bless them and see them as holy takes your your wall against them away. That thing to fight up against dissolves. Working in a prayerful place where you bless people that are difficult in your life, like parents or a child that you're having a disturbance with, whatever, you'll literally feel a lift in your spirit when you do it. So let's just close our eyes for a second and bring to mind a person or a situation that is finding you thinking about how this is affecting your life in a negative way. And picturing this person or this situation in your mind's eye and using the word bless. I bless you. I bless myself. I bless this circumstance. I give it to you, Spirit. I give it to you, God. I know that you understand how to move in and through this because I can't seem to see it from the ego point of view, why this is in my life. And then again, we realize that everything that comes into our life is a teacher. The more difficult things, the difficult people, the difficult circumstances tend to be our greatest teachers. So to be able to face up and face these situations that we want to run from and have a hard time having communication in by merely blessing them in your mind's eye before you walk into the circumstance or before you go to bed. Blessing them, blessing yourself, seeing the situation as holy. It's in God's hands now. And know that it's being taken care of, and we always finish it with a gratitude statement. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. This is no longer needed for me. This is not needed, not wanted, not necessary. This is breaking down my life situation. So blessing it, right? So you will notice on the back wall that there's water flowing, and I did that very intentionally. I tend to, when I project things on the back wall, I have different reasons of why I put it up. But today the projection is of water, which is frequently used as a symbol of emotional depth and intensity. In literature and art, it represents the vastness of human emotions and the power they hold over us. In literature, water is often used to convey intense emotions such as love, longing, or grief. And so when we're talking about overcoming things, we're going to let that water just move in and through our energy. And we know that the Native Americans refer to the water as our blood, that life force, that liquid of life. Right? But we have to move through our emotions to healing, to bring greater and greater circumstances to our life. And we realize that we are the participators. We are the ones that project our lives into what we want it to be. So this is where affirmations are so powerful. So here are a couple examples of affirmations that you could use. You're always welcome to take pictures of the slides. That's what I would do instead of taking notes. But I am a magnet for love. I am a beautiful soul that deserves the best in every aspect of life. My relationships are strong and nourishing. I am a pure soul, full of love and kindness. I am filled with peace. And when we are working with affirmation, that also means as we affirm our good, we also become aware of our spiritual boundaries that allows us to keep staying in this prayerful place. Spiritual boundaries. Boundaries have been big in my world lately. That's been the topic. The books that keep getting put on my desk. It's like, are you trying to tell me something, Spirit? Oh, you have to read this book. And they always have like boundaries in the titles. I'm like, okay, I listen. Okay, great. So, one way to identify your boundaries is to think about the areas of your life where you're experiencing problems. Do you constantly feel exhausted? Do you feel uncomfortable around your coworkers? Do you feel resentful of your mother's intrusions? Each of these problems is telling you that you are lacking boundaries in the area of your life. And Alan Watts words it very beautifully like this. He says, "You will never know who you are unless you shed who you pretend to be. To love everyone unconditionally does not mean to give everyone your unconditional time. Sometimes to love completely, we must never see someone again. This too is love. This is giving someone the freedom to exist and be happy even if it must be without you. If you do not respect your own wishes, no one else will. You will simply attract people who disrespect you as much as you disrespect yourself. A soulmate is not found, a soulmate is recognized. Perhaps the most liberating moment in life is when you realize that your self-loathing is not a product of your inadequacy, but rather a product of your thoughts. Emotional pain cannot kill you, but running from it can. Allow, embrace, let yourself feel, let yourself heal. So, I know from my own experience that I've had this incessant need since childhood to be liked by everybody. Who relates to that? We don't like people when people don't like us, right? And so what does that make us do when we have a real need to be seen by everyone as the great person we believe we are? We really end up starting to be a lot of different people for different situations because we want to kind of be a chameleon just to make sure everybody else is happy. And that's how you can keep everybody liking you. It really works, actually. I was really good at it, to be totally honest. But then you find yourself drained, and you find yourself exhausted. You find yourself feeling alone and wonder why nobody really actually knows you. Because you're walking around in a facade. You're walking around with a mask that says, please love me, because I don't know how to love myself enough just to allow this space for me, right? So I give it away to everybody. Until we literally cannot, and we're stopped in the process of this awareness that I can no longer be everything everybody wants me to be, right? Especially when you live in a public job like I do. And I've found myself having that tear me down quite a bit in a place of why am I so tired all the time? Because my need to be everything, to be the healer, to be the love, to be the thing that everybody needed me to fit into their box was so, I thought that's what awakening was. I thought that's really what it was. But if you don't feel good, then you don't feel God, right? When you don't feel good, you don't feel God. And when you're exhausted, that doesn't feel good. So then we have to take an inventory. I only have to show up for the God self in me, completely authentic, completely aware, and do the best I can to meet people. But in the end, my awakening is about my journey with God personally. And all of yours are also individually your relationship with God and your own personal awakening. So we all need boundaries. Boundaries keep us safe. Boundaries differentiate me from you. Boundaries help us focus on what's most important to us. And boundaries improve relationships by creating clear expectations and responsibilities. But it can be hard to figure out what boundaries you need to set. Jesus himself set boundaries with his disciples in Matthew 26:36 through 45. Jesus asked his disciples to stay and keep watch before his arrest while he went a little farther to pray. His request for solitude to communicate with his Father shows that even in his hour of deep distress, Jesus recognized the need for personal boundaries. Interesting, isn't it? Because he couldn't get to that clear, peaceful place within himself by still having to teach the disciples through his painful moment. How could he come back and be teacher if he couldn't say, I need space? I'm facing something that's fearful. I'm facing something that's difficult right now. And if you can't understand that boundary, that I need this space so that I can go up to the mountain and I can pray and meditate over this thing I'm about to deal with, how can I teach you how to know the God that lives within you if I can't visit it in myself? So to sit with that is to see, think about people in your life. Do you know anybody that has really good, healthy boundaries that they hold in their life? Would you say that you hold really healthy boundaries in your life? I am not impressed by the amount of hands that are up in the air. So maybe you guys have been getting books on your desk that's saying you need to be reading stuff about boundaries, because it's a really cool thing, and it really is like, we think it's mean to take space and to take care of ourselves, right? We're in a culture that believes we should just be spreading ourselves so thin so everybody's okay. But you have nothing to give unless you're filling up your own glass with this Christ consciousness, this elixir we call source. And we can only do that when we get away from everybody. When we get the time for that meditation where we're visiting the glimmer of our soul and our life and the guidance and the things we need to know to overcome all of the adversities in our lives and in this world, right? So how boundaries help you stay true to yourself. And here are 2 practices to try today. The more you value yourself, the healthier your boundaries are. And I'm using some material from this woman, Lorraine Nillen, today. She goes on to say, I want to talk about the direct correlation between boundaries and self-love. Because when we truly love ourselves and have a healthy self-worth and self-concept, setting boundaries becomes a natural extension of that. Without boundaries, we either become walled off and protect ourselves from others, which creates a sense of deep isolation and loneliness, or we become enmeshed with others, which I have absolutely been both, where you just can't take anymore, so then you just go hide for months. And everybody's like, where are you? And you're like, I can't be around anybody, right? Because you've depleted yourself so much that it's just better to be with your dogs, where they don't have feedback about who you are. They just look at you like you're perfect, and it's just so nice, right? Because your friends are like, what's wrong with you? Are you depressed? What's going on with you? And we really can't even articulate it. It's just like, I just can't be around anybody right now. That means you've gone too far on being enmeshed with others, right? So, as usually a sign that we have this problem with trying to get people's approval, most often, as children, we were often rewarded for being relational, compliant, quiet, agreeable, easy, and invisible. The underlying message was that we didn't deserve to have ownership of ourselves. As long as we did what the big people said, we were in their good graces, but if we crossed that line, then we were in trouble. Because that hurt and brought up so much shame for us, the alternative was to disconnect from the authentic selves. We became people who played a part merely to gain acceptance and approval, but at the detriment of our own needs and our desires and our physical health, right? So Lorraine Nillen writes about her experience personally with boundaries. She says, I personally have been on both sides of the coin. I was boundaryless for much of my life, giving and giving to others, unable to stand up for myself and my own personal needs. A great example of this was when my husband and I went on vacation many years ago. We had a great time, but upon returning home, I experienced an almost debilitating sadness and anxiety. I remember being uncomfortable in my own body to the point of wanting to crawl right out of my skin. As I sat with the uncomfortable sadness, I realized that it was deep grief. While I was on vacation, I felt free. I felt at ease about what I wanted to do each day and how I wanted to spend my time. In my regular, not on vacation life, I felt stifled and obligated to everyone. I've never felt that way. I don't feel that way now, but that's because I've been practicing this, because it's like, oh, this was that missing piece. There was this missing piece, right? She realized she was living someone else's life. I had built a life that others looked at and thought, wow, she's got it all. But it wasn't the life that felt true to me. The grief I met that day came from meeting the realization of how I lived for everyone but me. Who can relate with that? How are you feeling? Come on, let's be brave here. How do you feel feeling that way? You feel crummy, right? Okay. So she goes on to say, I had checked all the right boxes of what my parents wanted and what society expected of a good girl, but I was miserable. After this experience, it still took me a while to get a handle on my over-pleasing and appeasing. Eventually, after having fried adrenal glands twice from my constant overgiving, over-serving, and endless worry of what others thought of me, I flipped the pendulum to the other extreme and began to build a wall. I was tired of everyone taking advantage of me and asking me for my energy. No became my personal mantra until I woke up one day realizing how incredibly isolated and alone I was. I had protected myself to the point of shutting everyone out. We are hardwired for connection, for community, for a group of people in which we feel we belong. Our nervous systems operate beautifully when we feel safe with others and are able to experience a dance of co-regulation. So there's the two sides where you're being completely pleasing to the point where you're just completely shut down and hiding because you don't know how to not serve when you go back out in the world. So we want to move toward healthy boundaries which are flexible, fluid, and give us the chance to shift and change. Healthy boundaries aren't completely loose and open, but they aren't to the other extreme of being closed off and guarded. So in the end, no has a place. There's just a gentle no that we can use. You know what? I can't do that right now. I've got a lot I'm handling in my life right now, and I'm really trying to make more space for my meditation and my prayer work. Right? People are pretty much not going to confront you about doing your prayer work or your meditation, right? But if we say that we have all these other activities, then they think, well, why are you picking their activities over mine? And it's all this stuff that we do, right? So just saying I need to take time with Spirit, right? Because that's really what is needed. The boundaries, I got to go into the silence. They say to pray in silence in the Bible. You don't do it out here. I mean, we do it together collectively as prayers, usually for a massive beauty out in the world, but when we are in prayer, it's in silence. It's in a space between me and God, you and God, right? So then we move on to affirmations. How do we kind of gear ourselves up to be strong enough to have the conversation where we say, I can't do this anymore. I'm not willing to be in a relationship where you're sharing negative feedback about me. And I don't really want to be around people that want to see through a lens that I don't see myself as. Right? Surround yourself with people that see you the way your dog sees you, or the way your babies see you. Right? Surround yourself with people that aren't jealous of you, that just embrace a wonderful space of just they're happy to be in the glow of you, and you're in the happy to be in the glow of them. And we celebrate both, and all of us, right, in our greatness. In our I am, right? So how do we use affirmations? I'm going to use this now because this is how we start to affirm a more powerful attitude that allows us to affirm a better life where we don't feel drained, where we don't feel like we're excusing ourselves, where we don't feel like we're letting people down. Because you're going to only let people down if you keep trying to be something that you're not. So in affirmations, how do we use them? We say affirmations out loud when we can, right? So when you're in your car, you say it out loud. And then when you can't, you can be using them when you're in maybe a turbulent situation. All of a sudden it's like, I'm enough. That's a really powerful one. A lot of us don't feel like we are enough. And that comes from that childhood where the parents made you be all, you had to always just add into their entire world, and you never really got your self-identification as perfection and powerful. Right? So I am enough, right? Use the present tense. Try not to highlight the negative. In fact, don't highlight the negative. And if you do, love yourself anyways and try again, okay? Choose meaningful affirmations, right? Here's some more. I grow and improve every day. I appreciate the opportunities I've been given. My life is full of potential. I give myself permission to be myself. I have the power to change. I am the power of change. I am courageous. I'm allowed to have needs and take up space. That's a big one. Let's say that one together. I'm allowed to have needs and take up space. Did that feel good? Okay. I have value. I am worthy of love. I am enough. I speak my truth with love and grace. So when you're going to go into that difficult conversation, we speak our truth with love and grace. It's okay to have the hard conversation. Just try to articulate it with as few F-bombs as possible. People just don't receive from that. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've tried it, and it's just like, woo, well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to share a little story, and you all know this story in my life, but it's taking a little different spin on it. When I lost my full-term son in my early 30s, he died at about 6 hours old. My grief revealed that I had been living for everyone else, and now I was left with very little support, including my husband at the time, to navigate this loss. So that's when I was now shown, wow, I've always been there for everybody else, and I'm here by myself, dealing with the greatest loss of my life. Okay? So that's when you really see it. When a tragedy happens in your life, you see how you've always been at the side of everybody in their tragedies, and somehow there's nobody there for you. The loss was so profound, and it had within it an incredible opportunity for healing so much more than the loss of my son. Within that broken place within myself was every cut, every hurt, every betrayal from other, and betrayal that I had done to myself, that I had experienced in my life up to that point. It was just all waiting there for me when I returned home from the hospital without my living child. There'd never been and never has been a low, a grief, a sadness, a lostness like that time in my life. But within that low, there was no hiding from self. There was nowhere to go but within. And I know that's why I wasn't surrounded by people, because this was going to be the great unfolding, at least the big first one for me. And this is when I was called to ministry, was this year. So this awareness happened and an awakening of the love of God that was imbued and the grace that people speak about with the greatest losses in your life. I discovered it was real. Something energetically moves in, like a bubble of light. Intuition, visions, answers to the why and the how this all works. This life thing in the part of us that never dies, and how fleeting the body is, and how limitless and endless the soul is. Knowledge of lifetime swept me away into previous insights, once locked away by my birth on earth this time. I was now remembering all that I came in knowing. Because the grief and the loss takes you out of the world. There's nowhere to go but through. And grief is a process, and it's not a fast process, right? And so as I just met the pain, it's like when you need to meet the pain, it was not just the loss of that child, it was all the ways I betrayed myself up to that point, had chosen a marriage that I was in now that I'm like, great, let me also have 2 more kids after this with this person, so it'll be extra teacher. And I'm grateful. Because I'm blessed. Because what I learned in those broken places in myself is that it's not about self. It's about the spiritual soul being awakened. And very, very few times does it get awakened because things are going well. So, this bubble of light, intuition, visions, answer to the why and how this all works, this life thing and the part of us that never dies. I learned about that because I had to know where my son went to find a protection in a sense that he was okay. And all of a sudden, I understood this liquidness of energy, this air that breathes in and through, and that this physical thing is nothing about it. So I could now have a relationship with my son still. There was no someday when I die, I'm going to be told by God why this happened. I had a Catholic mother-in-law at the time that said this to me, and I was like, oh, so I have to wait my entire life till I die to find out why this happened to me. That's simply not going to work for me. I'm a little bit more like think and have, like let's figure out what is going on with this, because I believe everything happens for a reason. And I believe that everything happens in a season. So the only way through it was to go through it. But 2 months later, I was pregnant with my son, Tyler. And now affirmations had to take over. Because now I just went through a perfectly good pregnancy. Sonograms are all great, everything's fine, and the child didn't make it. Now I'm pregnant again, where I could just now recreate this Groundhog's Day and literally, maybe emotionally, spiritually, create the same end product. And so I came up with an affirmation, and it was a whole page long. And it was to keep me out of fear. So this child wasn't raised in a fearful body, but that felt the blessing that I could overcome this loss, where he felt the love of his mom and the connection and all the stuff I had learned about what's beyond the physical. So I could build a whole baby, and finding a love that transforms fear, and a truth and faith that whatever happens is also part of divine unfoldment. But I was going to damn well try to do an affirmation that was going to get him to live. And still had to be in resolve that it's also not up to me. It never is. So I would walk affirming his health, my resilience, my love. And the script went something like this. I am so grateful that this healthy baby is going to live a long life that lasts much longer than my own life. I'm grateful that his body, his mind, his spirit is whole, and that he will come into the world feeling loved, surrounded with lots of soul friends and family members. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be the child's mother this lifetime. It was a much longer affirmation filled with every fresh possibility for this child. And when I would walk for miles carrying my now son Tyler, I would repeat the entire affirmation script. It was on paper at first until it was fully memorized. And I would just repeat the entire thing over and over again to not let that default of fear and negativity to be imbued into the building of this child in my body. This affirmation script afforded me a time with my unborn son as he developed inside of me in a state of the glimmer of his beautiful arrival instead of the trigger of the unforeseen possibility of having my worst nightmare happen again. But this works with everything. I'm using this as an example for my way of awakening. But when you've had a great betrayal in a relationship and you're trying to move on into another relationship and you don't want to bring that broken version of yourself to this wonderful new relationship, this is what we do. We align with the script that we know we are, the power that we can be, to overcome that great betrayal that broke and shattered everything that you believed about yourself. And piece by piece, you speak yourself back to better so that you're a gift for that next person. So glimmers are those micro moments in your day that made you feel joy, happiness, peace, and gratitude. Once you train your brain to be on the looking for the glimmers, the more these tiny moments happen, the more you will begin to look out for them, the more you will notice them, and the more you will be blessed. Love you.
Well, you're responding really in a beautiful way to that which was beautifully given, and now it has been beautifully received. We are going to take an offering for unity now, and I'm going to read it as clearly as I can so that everyone knows just how they can give to prosper this truth that we share in unity over and over again. We have many convenient ways for you to make a donation today in support of our life-enhancing messages. For those of you who like to give electronically, our donation or QR code for Venmo and PayPal apps are located on today's handout. You have those on your handout right now. So take that with you. For those of you tithing from home, visit our website at unityofboulder.com and click the green button at the top right-hand corner of our home page that says Support Our Mission to make a donation, or follow on the link below our live stream feed that says Donate to Unity. So these are the different ways that you can continue to support this Unity Spiritual Center and the beautiful truths that are related here over and over again through the different ways that we do it. But just so everyone knows exactly how to do it, I'm going to share this with you again. For those of you who like to give electronically, our donation or QR code for Venmo and PayPal apps are located on today's handout. Why don't you take that with you and put it on your refrigerator? For those of you tithing from home, visit our website at unityofboulder.com and click the green button at the right-hand corner of our home page that says Support Our Mission to make a donation, or follow on the link below our live stream feed that says Donate to Unity. We should really all be aware of the fact that we are learning how to be free of all concerns by virtue of the fact we can put into manifestation through giving that which we would like to be receiving. That is the main principles of spiritual awakening, to be giving out what it is you would like to be receiving. And the same thing holds true for our financial well-being, that it is in giving that you ultimately will receive. So now let us bring the gifts we'd like to give today into our hands, and let's bless them with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. Amen. And we have Rebecca Braxis to share her amazing music, the most unique folk singer still on this planet. Rebecca Braxis. Let's have a big hand for her.
Catching up with me, there's a way to see beyond life's negativity, like the jolly sprite who comes to the children's doors. They can see and they adore. It's only you behind the screen. What will you let yourself see? Oh, give in to the love that's in your heart. Oh, give in to what joy allows. Oh, give in to all that heaven has for you right now. Oh, give in. Spring flower fairies, they kiss and they marry. They do the shimmers in the sunrise. There's always more than enough. Some keep the score, breeding the lack that we abhor. It's only you who hold you back. Why does your mind see such a lack? Oh, give in to the love that's in your heart. Oh, give in to what joy allows. Oh, give in to all that your heart, or give in to what joy allows, or give in to all that heaven has for you right now, or give in. Change your mind from the same old line, turn it around until you like the sound. Follow it through until it feels like you, really feels like you. Turn it around, turn it around. Change your mind from the same old line. Turn it around until you like the sound. Follow it through until it feels like you, really feels like you. Turn it around. So give in to the love that's in your heart, or give in to what joy allows, or give in to what that heaven has for you right now, or give in.
All right, well, thank you, Rebecca. Beautiful, perfectly appropriate music today. So I want to let you know that we have prayer partners available to you. She's going to stand up right here. You have one prayer partner. If you have a blessing or you want to pray with somebody, she will meet with you. Just stay seated in the seat after the service, and then she'll take you to pray with you. I will have my circle in the back of the sanctuary right after the service because I have a meeting at 20 till 1, so we're going to start right away, and we're just going to go right into I release and I let go because we're running over. So here we go. Let's stand up, and we're going to sing I release and I let go. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life and my heart. Any melody? Wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I let the Spirit run my life. You sound awesome. You can do better than that. My heart is open. Yes, I hear heart. Only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I'm free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Be blessed. Have a beautiful week.